Hey there, fellow Joe fans. Aaron Moss, a.k.a. General Head, a.k.a., well, me, here at you. Here a couple months ago, I announced that we were putting an end to the G.I. Joe The Adventure Continues game due to life. Well, since that time, our glorious game master, Erik Smith, has, he's restarted the G.I. Joe gaming universe. He's gathered myself and the other Eric from our game, plus a couple of other new guys, to start a new G.I. Joe adventure. This new story/game will be set in the new Skybound Studios Energon universe, where G.I. Joe and Transformers are now combined in the new Skybound comics. Our stories will tie into the Skybound G.I. Joe and Transformer comics that are coming out on the shelves. So if you want to get some kind of background and other stuff that's happening in the universe, please check out the comics from Skybound Entertainment. This will be the G.I. Joe stories. What is happening in real life is that on every other Monday, Eric has a Transformers game he's running. Unfortunately, due to life, I'm not able to record those, so we're not going to catch those stories. But on the off weeks for the Transformers guys, Eric is running a G.I. Joe role-playing game. So we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks. For now, I will be releasing these podcasts monthly. I'll fit it in with my other shows, and we'll release these on a monthly basis for now. Once I get some personal things dealt with, I may start releasing these on more of a bi-weekly schedule. But for now, you get to enjoy it monthly. The role-playing game is produced by Renegade Studios. Check out their website, renegadestudios.com. They have G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, plus many, many more. Great company, great games. I highly recommend them. But enough preamble. Let's go ahead and get started with the very first episode of the Energon Protocols. A world where ruthless terrorist organization is determined to rule the earth.
Cobra! Attack!
A world where sometimes machines are more than meets the eye. A world where heroes are determined to stop the forces of evil, whether it be man, snake, machine, or something else. A world that needs heroes.
Yo, Joe!
A world that needs the Energon Protocols.
Just for anyone who's not up on the comic books, we're playing in the Energon universe, which is a combination of G.I. Joe and Transformers. So basically going to be running in real time. So the events that happen this coming week in the Cobra Commander book are basically happening right now. And Duke just ended, and they're rebuilding or building a new pit in Utah. So that's in process. They're starting to put out feelers to put together a team to deal with this advanced, weird new alien threat. So while the Pentagon and Hawk's favorite little poster child, Duke, is kind of working on the infrastructure of this specific special branch, or whatever it's going to wind up being, the Pentagon, who likes to spread out and not hyper-concentrate, at least in this instance, has tasked Beachhead, who's an Army Ranger and training sergeant and all-around, unpleasant person, but in the good way. He has tasked Beachhead with putting together a special investigations team. And that's basically going to be you guys. So one day, while you're living your lives and furthering your military careers, you will get a signed, the mail thing, we have to sign for it. The word escapes me. That's going to happen every now and again.
Registered mail.
Yeah, that one. Comes to you with the postmark of the Pentagon and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So most of you, except for Copper, are in the services now. So that will come directly to your barracks or wherever you're stationed. And it is essentially reassignment papers. Like you have 48 hours to get to Nellis Air Force Base just outside of Las Vegas in Nevada and wait for further orders. Copper, we kind of touched on how you're getting this paper, and we'll keep that just between us for the moment, but you also have this paper. It's slightly less authoritative because the Pentagon can't order you around because you're a civilian, but they would really, really like you to show up.
All right.
So once you are at Nellis, it's a big base. There's a firing range attached to it. So it's, hundreds of thousands of acres and involves a mountain and a dry lake bed. And they do all of their weapons testing there. So you're there for a day, maybe slightly less, depending on when you get in from wherever you were originally stationed. And some guy finds you and gives you another letter. This one is not official. It's in a plain envelope that you can buy at like any pharmacy within 20 miles of you. It's not even legal sized. It's one of those like birthday card envelopes. And in it is a handwritten note saying, giving you directions to some small side road about 2 hours north of where you are on State Road 50, which is nicknamed the loneliest road because there's nobody on it, in between basically Austin and Eureka in Nevada. And you're supposed to get there at approximately 9 p.m. local time.
Is there a group of us, or is there a large group of us there together?
No. When you're at Nellis, you don't know each other.
Okay.
You see each other in chow lines. You have no way to know who each other are.
Okay, so we don't know that we're all going to the same location, so we wouldn't hey, let's carpool.
Correct.
Okay, well, I guess upon getting this, I would go ahead and get my gear and see about requisitioning a vehicle of some kind. Whether I could get something through the base or I could grab something through a rental agency.
Whichever. We're gonna kind of pick up. You guys are gonna come in at 9 o'clock.
Okay, gotcha.
What the directions go to is an army base.
Okay.
None of you have ever heard of this base. It doesn't have a name. You'll only know it's an army base because it's got 20-foot high chain link fences with barbed wire and all kinds of official government. You walk beyond this point and you're going to get shot signs. But there's no one in the guardhouse. When you approach the gate, it opens for you and you drive another mile in until you pull up to basically a PX, which is like a army grocery store. You can see some buildings. There's not a lot. There's maybe a half a dozen, but 2 of the buildings are like aircraft hangars. So they're big and wide and tall and kind of stick out. There's minimal lighting here. So you get the impression that it's not manned. So this is your introductory phase. So you just need a volunteer to go first, pull in, tell us what you look like, tell us how you're going in the PX building, which is where you're supposed to be going, and kind of give us the vitals on your character. This is the Ocean's 11 moment when everyone's coming to the meeting to rob the place. So make your entrance. Who wants to go first?
Well, I stretch out. I'm very comfortable in this scenario. This looks just about like everywhere that I've ever worked and when I worked for the military. And I pop in. I'm wearing all black and black shades and look like something out of a movie. And I'm just casually looking around, put my rifle to my back, and I feel very comfortable in this. I'm interested in what's in the hangars, but I deliberately do not go anywhere towards them. And I don't look anyone in the face as I head into the PX, nor do I say anything. I just try to project calm and walk into it as though it were a regular store, knowing fairly well that it is not.
Okay. Next.
I get out of my vehicle and I go ahead and I start grabbing my gear and my tack gear and throw it on. So he grabs all of his tack gear, grabs his M4A1. He's got his hand on his M4. It's attached to a sling. And he just walks into the PX. He's like, hey, guess this is where we're supposed to meet.
Okay. When you walk into the PX, there's only the guy that you saw walk in 2 minutes before you did.
All right. I walk up to him and say, hey, name's Reaper.
I bet it is.
You have any idea what we're doing here?
A little shopping, maybe pick up some snacks.
I'll come in next.
Okay.
About 6'2", 180 pounds, blonde hair, blue eye, the Aryan poster child. Just that, military greens, and got my duffel bag slung over my shoulder. As I walk in, I pat my sidearm. I've got a gun to my side. I walk around, look around to see what's going on. Very military, TV military type, or movie type military presence. Just very aware of what's going on, looking around. Not uncomfortable, but just very aware of my situation. I walk in, I see the two guys in here already, and I kind of stand off to the side and keep an eye on the door, see what's coming in.
When you first walk in the door, there are about 6 rows that are maybe 15 or 20 yards long, and this is like the grocery part. So you have to walk down an aisle to get to like the meeting place, which is almost like an old-fashioned like soda fountain bar, kind of in about the middle of the building. So this is where kind of everyone's loitering. But when you're going through the aisles and kind of looking at the food, it's all like caked in 2 inches of dust, and even the MREs expired like 5 years ago. So everything in here is like old. So no actual shopping will be done unless you are very fond of food poisoning. So it's old and run down, but perfect clandestine base. So didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to add that. Who's next?
I'll go next. So yeah, I also disembark from my vehicle. I try and get a feel for the place, what I might be there for. I make sure my rucksack looks like it's just a normal rucksack. My toolbox looks like just a normal toolbox. And I walk in and look for basically whoever looks like they're in charge or look like they have a job for me.
Okay. All right, Eric, do your thing.
I just get out of the ring, crowds cheering, everybody's excited. I've just destroyed another opponent, MMA fight. Feeling pretty good about myself, actually. It's 53 straight wins, in a course of only 4 years. I'm absolutely dominating the MMA circuit. But my manager comes up to me and hands me this note. It's from the feds, and I get real worried, like, uh-oh, maybe they've caught on to me a little bit here. May have been dabbling a little bit in some enhancements while I'm doing all this MMA fighting. So I read the note and I see that I gotta make my way to Nevada, and I'll find out why when I get there. So once I get there, I disembark and see this old base type looking military thing, still know what's going on, and see a bunch of military guys standing talking to each other. I assume you guys all know each other. Those military types all know each other. So I'll just keep my distance for now.
What do you look like?
I'm really average. Just it's weird that I was winning in the MA. A little bit of a pot belly, but about 180, 5'11". Nothing too inspiring in my physique. A lot of scars on my face, though. I've been taking a pounding. Still never got knocked out.
Okay.
When he comes in, I tilt my glasses down and look at him over them.
All right. Are you famous? Do you have a winning record? Have you been on TV during one of these MMA fights?
Oh yeah, I've won 53 matches in a row.
Yeah.
I've got like 3 or 4 different belts.
Okay. So there's a good chance that anyone else that's standing in here with any sort of interest in MMA fighting would know who this is. So what's your name? What's your stage name or whatever?
Stage name is Copper Stout. Fight like a badger when I'm in a corner.
Okay.
A little undersized.
Good. And as soon as you come in and kind of get yourself comfortable, and the first couple of you that have come in start looking around, not really in boredom, but in anticipation, the prerequisite secret door in the back slides open, and 4 people walk out. Lead guy dressed as an Army Ranger and looks official, and he's got that look in his eye and that air about him that he's the guy that you're here to meet. And he walks up to the inside of the soda bar and just stands there and looks at you while everyone else gets in position. The next guy, he kind of looks like Outback, white t-shirt, kind of green, kind of camo. It's not camo pants, it's a camo kilt, but he's like 6'4" and probably weighs a good 260. And, not all of it is muscle, but he also very clearly knows how to use everything that he's got. Looks a little grouchy, but he takes his place to the Ranger's right. The complete opposite of the next guy to walk in. He is 50, Hawaiian shirt, cargo shorts. You can hear the flip-flops on his feet, and a New York Mets baseball cap. Doesn't appear to be a lot of hair poking out from underneath the cap, so it might be hiding some male pattern baldness. You're not sure. And he's mumbling to himself. Once he gets up to the bar, the ranger kind of shoots him a side look, but he's not paying any attention. He's looking at you guys, and it looks like he's resisting the urge to kind of jump over the bar and shake everybody's hand. He's giving off a lot of, like, suburban dad vibes. And then the other guy who stands next to the big red-haired, kilt-wearing dude is thin, dark hair, dark eyes, probably 5'9", 150 pounds. Looks like he's in the Army, but it's not, you don't recognize the patches. It's no division or company or regiment that you've ever seen or heard of. But except for the weird patches, it seems to be a standard dress Army uniform. And he's also carrying a rucksack, which he throws up on top of the bar, and it impacts like it has a lot of books in it. It kind of has that wooden thumping, and he looks like he's got other things to do and doesn't want to be here. So the ranger guy kind of clears his throat, and he puts a file down on the bar and starts flipping through it, and he just kind of goes around. He's like, code name Scaffold. And he looks up to make sure he's acknowledged. He's like running a roll call.
Yep. I extended attention and I acknowledge him.
No, you don't have to do that. We're a little bit more relaxed here, son.
I relax a little.
Yeah, just want to make sure everybody's here before we get started. He's got a little bit of a lilt, like he's from the Georgias. And he looks at Reaper and says, "Mr. Reaper, pleasure to have you here, sir. Your reputation precedes you."
Thank you. Nods.
And Hardman,
Sir.
welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us this evening. Not that you had much of a choice, but still. This nondescript gentleman to my left, and he kind of motions and waves towards classified, is classified. And everything about him is classified. So try not to ask too many questions. We can't answer them.
I nod.
And for those of you who are not awestruck with the MMA royalty we have before us, this is Copper Stoat. Sir, what the hell is a stoat?
It's the angriest of weasels. I'm telling you, we're just angry. They're ferocious. Anyway, so wait, I'm not in trouble?
No, sir.
Oh,
We'd like to give you a job.
interesting. We're gonna have to talk to.
So,
Need to screen these letters.
and let me introduce my staff before we get too far into this. The large Irish gentleman, Scottish, whichever one has the kilts. It's all one big island to me. This is Brick. He's our requisitions officer. If you need a piece of gear, if you need your gear fixed, or if you need to order something that's not necessarily on the books, he is your man. Past him, the squirrely looking gentleman on the end is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Hexblade. He is a wizard. He has to swallow after he says that word.
Like he's really good at his job?
I don't know. I hope so, because he's here, and Hexblade is just standing there kind of rolling his eyes at the whole thing because he knew this was coming. He's apparently had this conversation with Beachhead before.
So I stop and double take and look at him. And I am definitely like looking at him like he's somebody serious.
Okay. And you might recognize the patches because you have a little bit of inside intel and might know, but I'll leave that up to you.
Not him personally or the specific badges, but I know what they mean in general.
Okay.
Reaper just looks at him and goes, "So, is there anything special I need to know if I'm trying to patch you up?"
No, I'm not a werewolf. Silver isn't an issue. I'm not a fairy. Cold iron isn't an issue. I bleed like everybody else. This isn't the comic books. This isn't your favorite fantasy movie. This is real life.
I've never worked with a wizard, so
Yeah, not many people have. I'm one of like 6.
Didn't really play Dragons and Dungeons.
I mean, magic's not real. Come on, guys. Obviously,
Yes, clearly.
clearly.
I scoff. I don't know what scoffing sounds like, but if I knew what it was, that's the noise I'd be making right now.
And Beachhead clears his throat, and he has to take a moment. It's like he looks down, he puts his hands on the bar, like he's girding his loins for the next thing he's about to do. And he looks up and says, "This gentleman to my left, is Bill Docker. He is your man in the chair. So he'll be your liaison, and I'm forced to apologize in advance. He's all we could get. And Bill Docker's like, yo, hey, whoa, this is what I'm good at, Beachhead. You don't understand how awesome I'm going to be at this job. I'm going to fill everyone's head full of so much knowledge, it's going to come spurting out your nose. So let's not, we've talked about this. Let's not get the attitude. All right. And this time he does jump over the bar and you start shaking everyone's hands. Bill Docker, pleased to meet you. Bill Docker, pleased to meet you. Bill Docker, pleased to meet you. One of you knows Bill Docker, and when he's shaking your hand as if he's never met you before in his life, he throws you a little wink. This may or may not be visible to everyone else because he's wearing regular reading glasses and not sunglasses, but he doesn't seem to be overly concerned. He's only paying lip service to the fact that he knows things that maybe he shouldn't know. But after he does that,
when he shakes my hand, I pull him in and I give him a hug. Bill, how are you doing there, bud?
All right. It's like, hey, I made $500,000 on your last fight. I shorted you. We're going to have to talk about your next match. You come find me after.
Oh, yeah. Times.
And he tries to jump back over the bar so he can take his place with the other senior staff. But, he's 50 and clearly a little overweight, so he doesn't quite make it. So you have to pause for a few seconds while he gets over the bar and pretends like he parkoured like a master. He adjusts his hat and kind of smooths his garishly red Hawaiian shirt. And Beachhead just staring daggers at him the whole time. And he motions that the floor returns to Beachhead. And he's like, I don't know if you've read the news lately or how much you pay attention to such things, but there have been unusual sightings and events happening around our country and the world in the last couple of months. There have been giant alien robots spotted in Washington State, and they appear to be spreading out. The Pentagon and the FBI, CIA have been teaming up to kind of dampen down the publicity on this. So John Q. Public tends not to know a whole lot, but they're being seen, and the lid is going to come off this soon. There appears to be another contingent somewhere in Pennsylvania. We have, when I say we have people looking into all of this, understand that those people are us. You are here on behalf of the Pentagon as a special investigations team, multi-branch, multinational, multi-skill set, with the mission parameters of checking this stuff out to see if it's fake or real, a fluke or something that can be counted on to be regular or invasive in the case of giant alien robots. And he struggles with those words because, giant alien robots. And not only that, but, he takes a breath and he says, so in addition to that, there's some other sightings. Most of these are a couple levels above top secret. We're still coordinating your credentials so I can let you look at some of this stuff, but know that Uncle Sam and the United States government need your help to investigate these things, to know if the regular civilian authorities can handle it or if the government needs to step in. And if the government needs to step in, does it need a specialized branch or a specialized unit to take care of this stuff, or if it's something the regular Army or National Guard can handle? And due to your unique skill sets and abilities, you were chosen for this mission. I'd like to tell you that you can leave if you want, and that is certainly true for you, Mr. Stoat, since you're not officially in an armed service, but you can't. You're stuck with me for 3 months. And at the end of the 3 months, we'll assess and see if we need to do additional deployments to other things. Questions so far?
Yeah, do we have any idea of the country of origin of these alien robots?
Well, no. Alien presumes extraterrestrial. They have some sort of ship in Washington State, and we have unconfirmed reports of another ship in Pennsylvania. And this is one of the things we will be looking into. Part of this is to increase our intelligence on all of these things.
Sorry, when you say it presumes extraterrestrial, like nobody actually presumes extraterrestrial, right?
Probably not. It's probably nothing to worry about, though. We should probably learn about whatever technology's out there.
So hold on, you're telling me we've got giant robots and we got wizards. What kind of crazy shit did you guys call me? Where's the cameras? Where's the cameras? This is a joke, right? This is a prank.
I said the same thing.
I think what Mr. Beachhead is saying is that we've got some unknown technology that's out there. Don't know who owns it, and we need to find out about it. I think it's as simple as that. Nothing more to worry about.
Well, I guess this is the unit I'm assigned to. They called me here for a reason, so let's go do what it is we're here to do.
As long as I can shoot these robot things, we're good to go, if need be.
I just finished my fight, so I shouldn't be scheduled to fight for another 3-4 months, so I got a little bit of time. Guess I could save Uncle Sam. Why not?
I walk over to the angry varmint, and I walk over and I look at Copperstone and start looking at his face, making sure he doesn't have any cuts or anything.
I have lots of cuts.
He literally finished his fight and got on a plane to come here.
All right, well then I start pulling out my med kit and start tending to the cuts on his face.
Whoa,
Okay.
We're okay. We're okay. It'll heal.
This is what I do, man.
All right. I usually have Fred
I'm
do
the
that.
medic.
Fred just kind of puts some Vaseline on it and it goes away after a few days.
He seems to have some ringside experience. It's quick, it's clean. He doesn't use the Vaseline, but he throws a couple stitches in you before you even understand what's going on. And you've got a couple of those really cool, I've just been in a fight in an action movie, kind of thin bandages over the cuts that you have on your face, and all that goes well. Meanwhile, Beachhead keeps going on. So our ongoing mission is to investigate this stuff, determine its potential threat level, and stop it if we need to, or report back if we can't for up-escalating the situation. A secondary objective is, while not interfering with the primary objective, is to obtain samples. So tech, any extraterrestrial biomass, any weird stuff. If it can be obtained safely and or without jeopardizing the primary mission, it's our secondary objective to obtain these things or samples or stuff. Classified can handle that in the field when you get back here, or you need a consult on anything that is weird. And by weird, I mean outside the normal parameters of your individual specialities. You can call Hexblade. And he takes a moment, gives you everyone's phone numbers or encrypted communications. And he looks over at Brick, and Brick pulls up this giant kind of industrial metal case that's, government issue, got some weird tech in it. You've seen all the good movies. He unsnaps the clasp and opens it up and starts handing out these basically wristbands. They're about 3 inches long. They're adjustable. They go on your wrists. They have metal clasps on the underside. And as soon as they are clamped down, it turns on. U.S. Mars Incorporated Systems. This is your HTB in the game for the game rules. So he gives you that. He passes out manuals. They're thick, like 150 pages. As soon as we get out of here, you can study this on your plane. What else do we need? Hexblade, you got anything? He shakes his head no. Bill Docker has all of, once you're hooked up the HTB network, Bill Docker would be able to tap into your system so you can see what you can see. And you get like a little earbud thing that is so fine and thin and small that you could put in like an AirPod in the same ear as you have one of these things in, and you would not notice the difference. He runs a quick test to make sure everyone can hear him. He's 20 feet away and whispering, and everyone hears him like he's standing right next to you, whispering in your ear.
I look at him and I ask, how do you turn it off?
During a mission, you don't. And that's awesome because I've got all of the info. I will keep you up to date to the second with the tech. I never shut up. You will hear me constantly. It's going to be awesome.
I thought you guys said I wasn't in trouble. Why am I under house arrest all of a sudden?
Well, we're getting to that. So We're all in the gang. He reaches down and grabs like a rucksack, and he opens it up, and it takes a few seconds, and he gets out manila folders for everyone. They're fairly thick, 40 or 50 pages worth of stuff in here. And he's got one for everybody. He slaps it down on the soda fountain bar and motions that you can all come up and take one.
Approach, take mine.
I go up and grab mine.
Fine.
I take mine and I start speed reading it.
Am I able to have Fred come along with me on this?
Who?
My manager.
Oh, no.
Hey, man, I got to get my own stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, Eric, for the
Yep.
ones in the military, how much of the Transformer stuff or whatever have we heard about? Any of it, or is it?
It's as classified as the government can make it. There's
Okay.
been a couple of leaked things. When Duke had his encounter with Starscream in Transformers issue 2, he was immediately locked down. So he's really the only military personnel as of about a month ago who has seen one of these things close up and has enough intel to report about it. But no one inside the regular military is aware of any of that because it was super classified and immediately stomped on because they don't want anyone to panic.
Right. Okay.
So you essentially only know what I have just told you.
Okay. Just clarifying. Thank you, sir.
Yep. You open up the files, and what is in the front is like a 2-page personnel file on a dentist. Dr. John Bender, DDS, and maybe one or two other initials after the DDS. He's a practicing dentist, and maybe he's got some research credentials. Nothing remarkable. He went to dental school in Atlanta, graduated middle of the class, did his doctorate on insidious nature of sugar substitutes and the proliferation of cavities. You've had this file for like 15 seconds, you're already falling asleep. But when you get to about page 3, you start getting into the interesting stuff. Because for a dentist in a know-nothing town in Colorado, he orders a lot of stuff that is generally reserved for CDC level scientists and mortuary scientists. But he runs it under a couple of shell companies, and they appear to have just kind of been enlightened about his activities a week or two ago. So he says, we're going to start you off easy. A little bit of basic retrieval. So you have a picture of this doctor, John Bender, DDS. He practices in Littleton, Colorado. It's a town of 3,000 people on the eastern side of the Rockies. You're an hour or two drive from Littleton to the plains. And he says that there's enough weird stuff going on with this guy that the CIA wants him. There's a note in here in like his stuff he's done to get himself arrested file from The Hague. They want him for questioning for an investigation into pick a small African country dictator and some bio smuggling. The Hague note is a little vague about if he was importing or exporting like body parts, but it's definitely shady and it's definitely international. So
I quickly look at Bill Docker and I say, how fresh is this?
Put that together last week, but he's gone silent as of 3 days ago. FBI doesn't want it. CIA can't touch it. So it's up to us.
I mean, we're just grabbing one dude, right? We're sending, 4 military dudes?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, think of it as your first day back to work from vacation.
Feels.
To tackle anything big, you don't have to get to your big clients. This is just to get you warmed back up. This is you checking your email.
Boy, this really feels like government bloat to me, and this many people for one guy. All right. See where our taxpayer dollars are going, I tell you.
You might have some paperwork and stuff to clean up too. So if you can take the guy, I'll make sure that anything in the lab's cleaned up. So we don't have any leftover experiments or mold in the fridge or something like that.
Yes, which is the secondary objective. Find out exactly what he's doing, because everyone has stuff. He leaves a paper trail. It's almost impossible to not leave a paper trail, but no one's quite exactly sure what it is he's doing. His dentist office is in downtown Littleton. It's a 2-story building. He rents out the apartment above the dentist office to some guy. There's a 1-page piece of paper on him. He's nothing. He's a janitor at the school and pays a ridiculously small rent amount because it's above a dentist office. And this guy is apparently knows nothing, not associated with Bender in any way. He's just a schlub who lives there. So, he doesn't have any property tied to his name. There's nowhere around here he could be conducting like classified military experiments or whatever it is his paper trail seems to indicate that he's doing. And even to you weird paperwork guys like classified and probably a little bit of, Bill Docker, but it seems weird but unspecific. Even you can't really figure out what's going on. This stuff just doesn't work together.
Reaper has, I took medical investigator as my secondary MOS just because of my science and medicine. So he'll probably assist classified on picking up anything in labs and securing anything, making sure it's all done safely and securely.
Yeah. And you are equally confused about what exactly you're going to be looking for or what he's doing. I mean, it's not like he's actively taking bodies and preparing them for burial, but has a regular order of like embalming fluid. And there's a plumber's order from 3 years ago. He updated his basement to be biohazard available, like for people, for mortuaries. You drain the blood and the internal organs of a cadaver to embalm them.
Waste disposal.
Yeah, his basement is up to code on that. And he did that 3 years ago. But there's no reason for a dentist to be doing that. And certainly to that level. But, maybe he's rich. No one thought anything of it. The plumber was happy to have the business. It's just all kind of taking a good look at him. None of this stuff adds up.
Taking the job of Tooth Fairy really serious.
Yeah. So there's a plane out back in one of the hangars. Brick here will take care of any requisitions that you have. Keep in mind, you're operating inside the United States in a town full of 3,000 civilians. So maybe don't take the RPGs. And he'll leave you to it. Brick steps forward. He takes you into like the back storage room of like the grocery store. And it's been all cleared out. The only thing that's in here are his like industrial cases, which vary from the size of like a black box to something that probably has some sort of off-road tracked wheel drone in it. Like it's 4 feet long, 3.5 feet high, 3 feet deep, and it's huge. And there's just hundreds of these cases in this little back warehouse. And he turns around and he clamps his hands together and he says, "What can I do for you?"
I'm assuming that we have like our standard gear that we've already talked to you and cleared with you.
Yes. And that can be the requisition phase stuff that you get now. But you don't automatically get all of the fancy upgrade stuff. That's what the requisition phase is for.
Right.
I want to go through it once just so, because I really like this aspect of the game.
Okay.
And when we made it its own phase in my last campaign, it went over really well.
Okay.
If you want me to go as an example, I will. Unless you want to go through the process first, and then I'll do it.
That's fine. Okay. So standard requisition is 3. If I don't say anything or forget to mention something, everyone gets 3 requisition requests or points or whatever the system is. And you can use that to get stuff that you are trained in. Qualified means you can basically upgrade to that thing for free. Now that I'm on the spot and have to explain it, I'm drawing a blank on everything. What do you want, Stout?
All right. So we are going to try to get a medium blade, which would be a limited. It's like a katana or like a sword type deal. And I'm going to go right for the top and try to make it a radiant. So that's a limited upgrade.
Okay. Limited, and limited is restricted. So you got to roll a 15 or better to get that.
So just so I always use one thing. So would I be using my might score with my D20?
It's generally whatever you have to roll to use the equipment that you're requisitioning.
Okay, so it would be a might attack. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And the D6. Okay, I rolled a 18.
Okay, so beats the 15 you needed for the limited item. You have the thing.
So I have a lightsaber. Okay.
And you have 2 more requests.
Excellent. I did not expect to get it on the first roll. So I need to stay with light armor. Yeah, we're going to go with the impulse armor because it
Okay.
gives me +1 evasion.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it's limited.
it's just limited. I'm not going to try to get any fanciness. So I think that's just a D10, right?
Yes.
It's a 10. And I rolled an 8. So sweet.
Yeah. He did not know you were coming. He did not prepare that particular suit.
Did not have that armor. Okay. And then I'm going to also try to get. We get our standard grenades, right? Or no?
Yeah. Frag and a smoke. You get 2 in any combination.
That's fair. I'm going to try to upgrade my hand axe. So hand axe is just a standard, but I'm going to do a hand axe that's tasing
Okay.
to make it so it would gain the electric trait. So that's just a limited with a standard.
So standard. So that brings you up to limited.
All right. And natural 20. So
Sweet.
yay. All right. So I got a tasing hand axe and a lightsaber. And then I just get regular armor then, right? Because that's just like standard issue.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and we're on page 139 of the rule book. If you want to follow along, that's where the little chart is for standard and limited and what you have to roll.
I can do my equipment real easy because all my stuff is just standards, actually. For my M4A1, I want a sling, which is a standard.
Okay.
I also want to get because the standard's a 0 roll. Do I even need to roll?
No.
Okay. And then I also want to get a laser sight, which is a standard as well.
Okay.
And then let's also go ahead and put a silencer on there, which is a standard as well. And then the other 2 things that I have deadly and soft shell for my armor. Those come from my infantry traits.
Okay.
So, and that's all I've got. The one thing I do need to know about is requisitioning kits for a medic, because I start with 1 and it says kits don't go against your requisition count, and I'm not sure how many kits and what quality of kits I'm allowed to go for.
If you want a standard kit, then that's a 0 and you can just have it.
Okay.
There are prototype and theoretical levels to the kits that can give you specialties or whatever. Those you would have to roll for.
Right. Okay. So there's some limited kits, which would that just be the same as a 10?
Yes.
How many of those can I roll for?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, you can't really have 10 like healing kits, but 2, 3, I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, can I have 4 because I start off with 1, then get 3 additional?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll have 4 limited healing kits then.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go next.
Okay.
So I got my standard gear. I've got for armor, I'm qualified in all armor and I get it without a requisition. If I take the Hex mesh armor for requisition, first I'm going to take a submachine gun. It's on page 144.
Okay.
It's restricted. So that's a 15, 17
Yeah, you got it.
for that.
Yep.
I take an ammo belt, which is a standard.
Okay.
And then a med kit.
Easy enough. Classified.
Mine's less so. For pistol, I'd like a silencer.
Okay.
For my side pistol. For body armor, I'd like soft shell.
Soft shell, I'm not familiar with, what the availability is on that.
Sorry, something shell.
It's called soft shell. He's just wanting to know the availability of it.
Yeah, I got it. It's limited. Okay.
So do I have to roll for it?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do I have to roll for it? Sorry, I've never rolled a check in this entire game ever.
Oh, okay. So you have a rule book?
I do.
Okay. The rolls for equipment are on page 138. Limited with nothing else attached to it is a 10.
And what do I roll?
It's your armor, so it would come off of your might or brawn.
I don't have either of those trained.
Okay.
Brawn is the trait for armor on everything I'm seeing.
Okay. So
straight D20?
yes.
20.
Okay, perfect.
Nice. And I could have used that 20 because I'm going to ask for something incredibly difficult next.
Okay. Love it.
I'd like an element jet, electric, and with the automated upgrade. And it uses technology, which I have a D10, D8, D6, D4, D2 for. Do I get to roll those bonuses?
I am looking it up.
You are specialized in it. You get all of them, I believe.
Yeah. You roll the D10. If you're specialized, you can roll them all and just take the highest number.
I don't think you're specialized.
I am specialized in advanced technology.
Oh, well, never mind then. Okay. So yeah, you get to roll all of. Well, it basically doesn't really matter during a requisition phase because a critical hit doesn't do anything for you.
Fair.
But normally, if you're specialized in something, you would roll all of the dice, and you pick the 20, and then any other dice that you want for your roll. But if any of the dice come up on their maximum amount, that's a critical hit.
Nice. All right. So I'm trying to calculate out what that toughness is.
I am looking for, I can't find the elemental jet. Oh, there it is. Okay, I just found it. So it is limited. So that's easy. And you want to upgrade it to automatic. And what was the other thing?
You have to select the element, and so I would electricity, but that's just a feature of the thing.
Okay.
So upgrading it to automated.
Automated is restricted. So limited and restricted makes it prototypical. Means you got to roll a 20.
All right. 15, and I'll take the D6, which is the highest. How sad is that? For 21.
Sweet. So you got it. He's heard about you. He had this ready for you.
Reaper speaks up and says, "Everybody take a med kit."
Oh, that's the other thing. I would like to take free sampling kits. They'd be specifically set up for the specific kind of samples that we would be expected to find.
Okay.
I am unable to use kits.
I forgot to check in for something else with Reaper. I meant to. It's mission-specific equipment.
Like what?
A containment suit for going into the slab because we do not know what's in there. And any equipment we need to get like samples out safely and sealed.
Well, they're not expecting, there's nothing in his file to indicate he's playing around with like Ebola or something.
Okay.
The worst that could possibly be in there, or let me rephrase that. The worst that is probably in there are maybe a couple of dead bodies. If it's some sort of biohazard situation, lock it down and call for help.
Okay, gotcha. Roger that.
Anybody else?
Sorry, I wanted a Geiger counter.
Okay. That's standard. I'm not worried about that. You can have that.
I'm good. Let's continue on.
Yeah. Non-pew-pew gear is essentially all standard. So a Geiger counter, the med kit and the sampling kit, those don't cost anything.
Satellite phone?
Yeah.
Those are under gear. Yep. Under computer and electronics. Page 160.
Yep.
Also, I'm thinking about for gear, I want to take a pair of handcuffs and a set of plastic restraints.
Okay.
I'm just looking. Are there caltraps in here? I don't see any, but I guess there's ball bearings, right?
Well, we have the new gear. Yeah, take the ball bearings for now.
Okay.
Instead of doing blunt or rolling for stun or whatever they do, they can just do one sharp.
I just want to slow them down. I don't really care if I deal damage or not, but
Yeah. Anybody else?
I think it's it for hard, man.
I'd also I don't see it here. I just want a bag of sand.
Okay.
I'm dirty like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He gives you like a plastic coated burlap sack with about a pound of sand in it.
I just need a handful or so.
Yeah.
Like a pouch like you'd wear on your belt. You can reach in. I know what he's wanting to do. He's wanting to throw it in people's face.
Yeah.
All right, just put it out there. Maybe
Come on.
I got a pet snake. I don't know.
That lives in your sand.
Okay. Everyone has what they think they're going to need. Beachhead comes up to you and reminds you that you're going into a small town full of nothing but civilians. There's a ski resort about 10 miles away. This is essentially the town that kind of sprung up around that. So keep it understated, keep it low key. Don't kill anybody. Don't get in the paper.
What time of year is it?
It is basically real time. So it's
Okay.
late April in 2024. So there's probably still some snow on the ground, but the melt has started.
So it would be okay for us to be wearing long coats, long, heavy clothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are ball bearings, not caltraps, but definitely ball bearings.
Yeah. And we'll use that as a template. Instead of whatever damage or effect it does, we'll just change it to one sharp and we'll call them caltrips. That's fine. There might be some in the new equipment guide, but I only have it in PDF. I'm not going to call it up and thumb through it while we're trying to get this done. It's fine.
Sorry, one last thing for me. There's an auto lock gun, so it just picks locks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
We got some glow sticks in case we want to hit a rave.
Perfect.
I mean, Colorado's pretty hot. Nobody? Man, you guys really are just military boys, aren't you?
All right. You guys basically jump straight into probably some sort of Black Hawk with some stealth capabilities because they don't want anyone to know that you're there. The goal is to find this guy. You have an address for him. He lives like just off of Main Street in a nice house, but not overtly rich, make a couple $100,000 a year, but he's not a millionaire. Find him, secure him, get him to the baseball field of the high school, and that's where the helicopter will meet you to lift off.
Seems a little exposed.
Roger that.
Well, if you can figure something out in the meantime, you can call that in. Bill Docker is in your ear, even right now. Bill Docker says hi. And if you need to change something on the fly, that's his job.
First off, I want to get a couple of the, like the things that you see football players wear on the sidelines over top of their shoulder pads. Those kind of coats.
You want a cape?
The poncho?
Huh? Yeah. I want to get some of those to wear. Cover up our gear as we're moving through town. Plus, we can put one over Dr. Bender when we get ready to move him. So if we have him in restraints, no one's going to be any wiser that he's cuffed.
I'm kind of thinking that we could go the old decoy deploy, and I could stop at the local mall and sign some autographs while you guys go get the good doctor. That way, town's all paying attention to, 53-0 guys. It's a pretty big deal.
Well, Beachhead wants you to go now. So when you get there, it's going to be like 3 a.m.
I like my idea. Let's grab some of those ponchos.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
If we go quick enough, it won't really matter what we do. These things are best done in the dark.
Yep. Get in, get out before anyone wakes up and realizes he's gone.
You guys see Reaper putting extra vials in the front pockets of his vest. Like, not vials, but syringes. Morphine in case we need to get him to shut up.
My character is unable to use kits when we're in combat. So
carry one anyways. I can take it off of you.
If you got room, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, always carry a kit for the medic. I will take your medical kit and use it. I will go through them.
I've got a med kit, so I make sure to get one. You never know.
I store mine very easy to get to on my chest.
Exactly. If you go down, the medic will take your kit and use it.
It is a brief ride, an hour, not quite 2, to the eastern portion of Colorado. It might be 3 hours because it's 10:30-ish. Where do you want to be dropped off, I guess?
the stealth helicopter?
Yeah.
I would say, if it's 3 o'clock at night and we know where this guy lives,
Yes.
is he by a tree line?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is he in a team proper or is he in the outskirts? Where exactly is he?
Said he was in downtown.
Oh, down. Okay.
I say we get dropped on the closest border to where he's at, the closest open field that we can get down into that's got some cover.
Yeah.
And then we move quickly under stealth. And that's why Reaper pulls out the ponchos and goes, "That's why I brought these."
so he's downtown, but he's in his own house. He's not like in a skyrise.
He's got an office with an apartment above it that he rents to someone.
Quick thought. Can we fast rope down to the building?
That's what I was thinking.
Save ourselves the walk.
Why don't we just, if it's right over a building, we get in there, zip down. It's 3 o'clock at night. Sneaky helicopter.
Is the roof capable to be able to be zip line or fast rope down onto?
Oh, you can fast rope down into anything. Just whether or not you crash through there and end up on the floor is going to be the answer.
Well, I mean, if there's no access on the roof, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass.
Certainly worth doing a flyover, though.
Yeah, we might as well hit the ground if we're going to do that instead of the roof.
Okay.
Which I imagine we can do too.
I posted a map in the in-game handouts section. You don't have to gush over it. I know it's just like you're standing there.
Oh, fantastic.
See my house
So-
from here.
At the bottom, that's the mountain. This town sits not quite a mile up, and it's just like sitting on a plateau on the side of this mountain. So the big long road is like Main Street. The X on the building on Main Street is the dentist office. 2 blocks back on the right is another building with an X. That's his personal house. And, there's a police station, which doubles as the courthouse. There's 2 bars. There's a laundromat. Pick your small town Main Street commerce type stores, and it's there. The high school is essentially the large unmarked area to the left, north of Main Street. So that's where like the football field and the baseball field would all be.
Well, I've never done anything like this before, but let's assume that maybe there's two ways to do this kind of thing. One, you take him at home and then get him to let you into the facility on the way out of getting him there. Or you go into the facility, investigate that, and then wait for him to come in and take him there. Just some ideas.
Well, I have a feeling if we go to the facility, we are definitely going to trip some kind of alarm system he's going to have there. I think if we don't want him to rabbit, we take him at home before he gets a chance to move. If we want to capture him, we capture him and detain him ASAP.
I agree.
I mean, we could split the party, hit both locations at once. Little radio over to the people at the office. They break in as we're taking the house. So when he runs out of the house, we jump on him. Bingo bango.
Nah, we're too small of a unit to split. We hit one location and move to the other quick and fast.
Yeah, I thought about splitting, but it's dangerous.
Once we have him secured, we move to the next location.
I agree with that plan.
There's some wisdom there.
I mean, the main objective is the guy, right? He's the main objective. Everything else is just bonus.
Correct.
All right, let's go beat up an old man.
So I say put us down as close as you can to the edge of town without us being detected. And then we move on the house.
The west side of town there.
West side of town, like where the high school is?
No, the other side.
Other side. Okay.
Yeah, I'd put us down closest to his house.
Yeah.
We want to be dropped on the metal binding in the binder.
Oh, I got you.
I don't know why I said west. It'd be the east.
Okay. That's not a problem. Not relevant to the mission. Everyone needs to land. So no rolls for disembarking the helicopter. It just works.
Yay.
This will not always be the case, but trying to keep things moving. So this is essentially like the edge of town. So you land in an empty lot. Okay. You're facing south. You can see the guy's house, even though it's, 3:00 in the morning and everything's dark. And behind you, like less than 50 yards behind you, is the mountain and the rather like 52-degree incline that finishes going up to the summit. You're 5,000 feet in the air, give or take, somewhere right just under a mile.
Nice.
And the town is spread out left to right. It doesn't have a lot of depth because it's on a small plateau. It was made in, incorporated in 1874 and is just kind of spread out. So why don't we do alertness? I generally like to give multiple options when I'm asking for a skill check. The skills in this game are just kind of vague enough that you could maybe kind of grease the wheels a little bit for an alternate interpretation of the skill. And if I don't mention something that's useful to you, I'm certainly welcome to arguments for why your skill should be a relevant pick. I don't really have any specific examples, but we'll figure it out as we go. It's not really that hard. So you can do alertness or survival or streetwise as kind of get the feel of the land roll before you move in.
Does my situational awareness kick in here?
Okay, remind me what that does.
I was hoping you knew.
Where are you again, Charles?
What am I? Officer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm flipping through pages as quickly as I can.
Yeah, me too.
What is it that you're asking about? Does it kick in? I'm on the officer stuff.
Situational awareness is a specialization for alertness.
Oh, then yeah, that's a different thing. So if that's just a specialization for awareness, that counts.
Okay, what does it do though when it counts?
Any specialization that you have that is effective during the roll means you roll all of the dice. So you roll a 20 plus whatever your highest skill rank is and all of the dice beneath that.
Okay.
Like when we were talking about the requisition rolls.
Got it. That's only a D2, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you can't crit on a D2.
Okay, that'll be a 13.
Okay. All right, so let's go around the table. We'll do you, Charles, since you're front of mind here. So you're 13 on your situational awareness.
Yes.
It is unusually dark. Like you kind of settle in and the helicopter leaves and you're looking around and it's dark. Like you can see 3 houses and kind of the edge of a 4th house kind of at the limit of your sight to your right, kind of deeper into that neighborhood. And there's no street lights. There's no outer porch lights on. You can see poles for street lights. None of them appear to be working.
Interesting. Does this appear to be in a blackout, similar to how things would be blacked out under military conditions?
It kind of feels more like some sort of power outage, but you can see the doctor's house and the house to either side of him, just plain as day. You're 50 or 60 feet away. And, inside there's no TV lights, there's no alarm lights, there's no, microwave clock glowing lights coming from kitchens. No one's got their TV on. There's no porch lights that somebody forgot to turn off. It's like the power to the town is not working. You don't know if it's somebody cut the power. It's probably not a weather condition because there's not a storm. There hasn't been a record of anything nothing should be responsible for this. It's tickling your danger sense.
Okay. We can move on. I've learned everything I can from that.
Okay. I'll just go around the little display that I have here. So, Eric, what are you doing?
So I got a dirty 20 on a streetwise.
Okay. You get all of that information.
Sweet.
Nothing has any power. There's no peripheral lights. But even though it's 3 o'clock in the morning, like to the west of the house, so in that kind of block behind the dentist office, you can see the shadows of people, like 1 or 2 people that are moving on the street. You can kind of hear the faint shuffling of footsteps, like they're walking in the road through the snow or something, and you're vaguely aware of a slightly darker outline than the darkness of the rest of the night that indicates that there are a couple of people. It's impossible to tell at this point and at this distance if they're walking towards you or away from you, but it's a little weird that there's people out walking at 3:15 in the morning.
Okay. They look like they're going in the same direction, at least consistently.
They are together because it's a bigger blob than what one person should take up. But, it's impossible to tell with no detail in the darkness if they're maybe just passing each other in the night and you just happen to see them at that point where they're together, or if they're moving in the same direction. You have to watch them for a few minutes. And I assume that you do while I'm going through everyone else. They are moving in the same direction, but you don't know if it's towards you or away from you.
Gotcha.
Reaper?
I got a 15
On your what?
on my alertness.
Alertness? Okay. Basically everything that I've given out already. Yeah. There's no danger. It's just all a little weird.
Okay, I am keeping my rifle up, ready to go. Like, I'm on high alert, and I assume I'm probably taking point for the team right now. I don't know who would be our point person besides me.
Hardman.
Hardman? Okay.
I've got armor.
I'll probably be right behind Hardman then.
Okay. Hardman, what do you think?
I motion at Hardman to go first, whether he takes that motion or not.
Yeah, I've got my body armor generator thing. So yeah, I usually try to get in front of where Abel is maybe coming from.
What'd you roll on your extra roll?
I got a 14 on my survival.
Okay. So, yeah, you can kind of confirm with everybody else as you kind of chatter for half a second and exchange some information. There's no natural causing way that the power should be out to the whole town. So it's either some sort of catastrophic accident at the local power plant or it's on purpose. But, there hasn't been enough weather. There's no alerts for any kind of automatic alert system that you would get if you were local. Nothing from the power plant outside of town saying, they've lost power, or a squirrel jumped into a transformer, or, whatever squirrel-like beings they have in Colorado. But there's no basic logical reason for the power to be out.
The people that we see, are they moving normally, or do they seem to be stealthily doing it?
It's impossible to tell.
Okay.
They're too far away. Okay, so that's information gathering.
I'm going to look at Hardman and make some motions that I've seen in a movie, like on Black Ops, like point at my eyes, point at him, bunch of hand signs, real Navy SEAL stuff. You know what's going on.
He's hand signaling you something about some asparagus that he's cooking.
I was wondering.
I'm full military now, see?
Yeah.
They know I belong now. They know.
In the side eye, I'm going to slowly move down the street towards the good Dr. Bender's house. Keep an eye on those people that we've seen.
Okay. So, He's got a nice house. It's a little old. It's 2 stories, has an attached garage, looks like a 2-car garage. He has most of the property between him and his southern neighbor. Like, it's 60 yards between the 2 houses, and he's got 40 of it. And there's like the white picket fence all around his property, except for the front. He's got a mailbox that's reinforced by cement for, hooligans coming by and knocking it down like a baseball bat. But other than no power and no peripheral lights coming from anywhere, it doesn't seem to be anything special.
All right. Reaper's going to motion to Hardman. He's gonna go around and cover the back if Hardman's gonna go in the front.
I'm gonna type on my communicator thing.
HTB.
Thank you. HTV to Bill Blocker to see if we have thematics for the house. We know where the bedroom's at.
Yeah. Hang on. How do you spell Littleton? Hang on. Yeah, they're like top secret or something.
So unsecret them.
So that takes time. It's got to go through like channels and stuff.
Curiouser and curiouser. Anyone want to cover me while I try and get this back door open?
I'll cover you.
I'll take the front door or the front door.
So I'm going to use my stealth to try and sneak up to the back door, and then use the lock gun to open the door.
Yeah, make that a finesse or an infiltration, whichever you prefer. Just it's not to use the device, but just stay quiet while you're using the device.
Can I use stealth for that?
Yep.
Okay, because that means that I can roll all the dice. Sorry, just trying to find a D4. Never need to use those anymore. Okay. That is a 25.
Nice. So yeah, you open the back screen door and it makes a little squeaky noise. It's not too bad though. And you plug the gun in and it's opened almost faster than you would be able to use a key to do it. So the back door opens up into the kitchen. And you guys are getting positioned in there. We'll go jump back up front real quick. Hardman and Stoat, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to hang out behind the big guy in front of me. Go get him, big guy.
I'm going to message one of the 2 guys in the back. Do I maybe make a hard entry or should I wait and see what happens?
That's fine. I think you're kind of our default leader on this mission, man.
All right. Who's going to lock down the front door? Who's locking down the front door?
I got the front door. That's all I'm wondering. Should I kick it in and go in or?
Don't kick it in. Hold it in case it opens. Stoat, come with us. Let's hit the bedroom and see if we can get him quiet.
Do I see where the bedroom is?
It's presumably on the 2nd floor.
But there's multiple rooms.
But you don't know which set of windows off the top of your head.
Interesting.
Well, we're already inside, are we not?
You 2 are.
I'm not. I'm by Harmon.
Yeah, he's around front.
You and Reaper are back there.
Oh, okay. All right. Stoat, can you come to the back? Because we're going to try and take this guy down, and I think this falls definitely within your skill set.
Oh, okay. I start moving towards the back. I am not stealthy, just so everybody's aware.
Okay. And there's snow. There's a little crunching, but it's not overly noisy. So the kitchen has 2 exits or 3 exits. The back door that you came in, there's an archway that leads deeper into the main floor, probably the living room or maybe a dining room. And there's a door that, well, it's not a pantry. You can see the pantry kind of on the western end of the kitchen. And this door is on the eastern part of the kitchen, and it's probably a basement door.
Do we assume that these are the only 2 entrances and exits, or do we assume there's maybe another?
Well, you didn't see anything. You went around basically the western side of the house, and there was no like farmer door into the basement from there.
Right.
I forget what to call them.
Cellar door.
It's possible there's one on the east side, but you don't know. And, so you've seen the front of the house, the west side of the house, and the back of the house. And there was no other exits on those 3 sides.
The only way there would be a secret exit, it would be through the basement, right? You had a tunnel. There's no tunnels from the sky.
So I'm going to do a situational awareness check while we're in there, waiting for Stoat to come around the building.
Okay.
and see if I can find out whether the stairs upwards look trafficked or dusty, and whether or not there are any other exits that we have not seen on the side of the house that we have not looked at. Okay, that's a 4, but situational awareness lets me add a 1 to that.
Okay. You're not familiar with this particular style of like farmhouse. There's probably not a regular entrance. It's a little weird that this type of house has a basement because it's digging into like the mountain, but there's 90% chance there is not a door from the basement on the east side of the house. Your basic architectural knowledge, you would presume that there is not. There's just the front door in the back.
Okay.
As far as trafficking, the carpet looks new, like it was replaced in the last month or so. So there's not traffic patterns, but it's not dusty. So somebody lives here, but.
Okay. Reaper, if you can back up Stout, give him a shot of the good stuff once you've picked him up, and that'll keep him quiet. We can get him out of here. I am going to guard the stairs and make sure that nothing sneaks up behind you while you're doing it.
Okay. Me and Stoke can go up these steps and take a look at this. I'll go ahead and I have no infiltration, but I'll go ahead and take point. I'm not trying to be quiet.
Okay.
I'm not good at being quiet. I'm big.
No worries.
I mean, we both are smash and grab. We should just charge through the things and do the whole clear thing as we kick in doors.
Try not to kick the doors.
And I don't think you was here. I think it was while you stepped away. I said I put some extra syringes in my pocket of my combat vest for silencing this guy, like to knock him out.
Yeah.
So,
morphine shot or something out of the first aid kit.
Yeah, I got some morphine, got some tranquilizers, a little combat cocktail, knock him out.
Sure.
The opposite of a combat cocktail.
Yeah, the opposite of combat cocktail. Good night. Good night.
All right.
So you get up the stairs, no problem. You're not making a special effort to be quiet. You're a little louder than you think you should be, but it's also 3:00 in the morning and there's no power. So you don't hear the kind of the subtle noise of the refrigerator. The furnace hasn't kicked on at all. You don't hear it buzzing anywhere. So the house is dead silent. So you're making more noise than you probably would under normal circumstances. But it's a brief flight upstairs, and there are basically 5 doors. So it's probably a closet, a bathroom, a bedroom or 2, and probably some sort of study or something. Nothing weird about anything. They all look like normal interior doors.
If it makes any difference, I just rolled an infiltration with a snag, and I rolled a 19 in it.
Nice.
So.
Except you already said you weren't trying to be quiet. So.
Best time to roll the dice when they don't matter.
So why don't you check out the doors, and I'll I'll stay in the hallway in case somebody leaves one of the said doors.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start clearing rooms. I'll go up to the first door on the right and slowly open it and check inside.
Okay. It's basic design of the house. The first 2 doors you open are like the towel closet or pantry and the bathroom.
Okay.
And once again, no night lights, no peripherals from clocks or anything like that. So, all of that was basically kind of to the right of the staircase. And the main part of the second floor is to the left. That's where the 3 doors are. Probably, a bedroom or 2 and a den or something. Maybe it's 3 bedrooms. You're not sure, but.
Yes, we wish we would have brought those glow sticks now, huh?
Yeah, that reminds me. We should probably have a brief conversation about how you are seeing in the dark.
Yes. How dark is dark right now? How dark is dark?
It's super dark.
I'm going to turn on my laser sword. That's how I'm seeing around. Like Darth Vader in a hallway.
Okay, but you're in an interior hallway with no ambient lighting at all because the power's out. So it is dark in here.
Would we have been issued night vision goggles at all?
No. You can have flashlights, but no one requested night vision goggles, so no.
All right. Well, then I will be using a flashlight with a red lens cover.
Okay.
Because those are pretty much standard field issue.
Sure. Doesn't ruin your night vision.
Yep. So I will be using one of those.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we had that discussion.
All right.
So the first door on the right, is the den.
Okay.
There's a desk. There's, the standard one wall full of bookshelves that he probably doesn't read any of the books on. The nice desk, kind of oak, kind of big. He put some money in that. And there's a TV, like a plasma TV mounted to the wall. And there's like one of those like big globes. They're like 36 or 40 inches wide that open up and have like a little wet bar in the middle of it.
Gotcha. All right, so I step back out of that room and call it clear after I look through it real briefly and make sure he is not in there in any way, shape, or form. No closets, not under the desk, anything like that.
Yeah, there's one closet door. You can open that pretty easy. It's not quite a walk-in closet, but you can step inside of it. And It's just like more like bookshelves. He's got some accolade trophies and plaques in here, and like an emergency suit and a lab coat, but nothing really super out of the ordinary. And he's clearly not hiding in here.
Okay. So I move on to the next room.
Okay. That's call it the guest bedroom, like a twin-sized, maybe a queen-sized bed, nightstand, LCD TV. It's sitting on top of the dresser, kind of opposite the bed. One closet, same deal. It's smaller than the one in the office, but it's got a rack of hangers in it, and there's a couple of like coats, but there's no evidence that he is currently having any guests.
Okay.
Bed doesn't look slept in. Again, there's like an alarm clock on the nightstand, but no light coming from it.
While this is happening, I ask Hardman, call out, see anything?
Negative. And I'm keeping an eye on the front door, and I'm also keeping an eye on the streets.
Why don't you give me some sort of alertness check?
Survival?
Sure.
18.
18? Okay. You are now aware of the people that Stoat saw earlier. Again, there's no peripheral light, so it's hard to get details. But they look like they're drunk, and they're just kind of moseying down the street. I mean, it's taken them 10 minutes of this op time to walk half a block,
Can I tell how many there are approximately?
Looks like 2. It's possible there may be like a third guy kind of tucked down behind them, but it's probably 2.
Report back. I have 2 or 3 unknowns on the streets. Keeping an eye on them.
I report that the middle bedroom is clear. I'm getting ready to enter the third, what I believe is master bedroom, potentially where we are going to find the good doctor himself. I call for Copperstoke to come up and give me support at the door.
Oh, okay.
I basically want you to hold at the door if he comes out, tackle him, engage him.
Yeah, I'm watching the hallway. Make sure he doesn't run out of one of the doors.
But classified, where are you during all of this?
That's classified. No, I'm at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm watching their backs and the front door, just to make sure that nobody comes up the stairs and surprises them.
Okay. So you are basically in the living room. You're 10 feet away from Hardman. You just happen to be on the other side of the closed front door.
Correct.
You have a clear view of the living room and like the dining area. It's not a specific room. It's just kind of like one big room that he's divided up. Living room is nicely decorated, if not overly luxurious, as much as you can tell in the dark. A huge TV, like 60-inch or something, mounted to the wall. There's a fireplace. The banister is well wrought. It's not wiggly or jiggly at all. Almost looks like it's made from one piece of wood, which is a little impressive. So you're standing at the bottom of the stairs. Kind of your attention is facing up the stairs. A Hardman is like 10 feet behind you on the other side of the closed front door.
Okay.
Just so we're aware for if any action may kick off soon. Okay. Reaper, breach.
All right. Yep. I am opening the door and heading in. At this point, I have probably taken the flashlight and clipped it to my harness.
Okay.
And have both hands on my rifle.
Okay.
Pulled up and ready to attack if need be.
Okay. Perfect. Would you give me an alertness check?
All right.
I am willing to listen to arguments for something else.
Nope, alertness is good for me.
Okay.
I got a 13 with a crit on my 4.
Nice. Okay. So I will give you 2 pieces of information, and the crit will allow you to ask 1 question.
Okay.
Sorry, I just need a quick clarification. So if you roll max on any of the die that you were rolling, that is considered a crit?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You still have to hit the skill. Like, you still have to hit the difficulty.
Okay.
So, like, if it was a 15 and I rolled a 12, just because I crit doesn't mean I made it. I didn't make the 15.
Got it. So if I roll a d20 and I roll a 4 and a 6 because I'm trained in it, the 4 comes up as a 4, the 6 comes up as a 5. I need the 5 in order to pass. I wouldn't pick the 4, but if I did pick the 4, I'd get a crit.
No, just because the 4 exists, you have a crit. You can pick you can pick the 6 to make your target number, and just for the fact that the 4 is on a 4, you crit if you made the target.
Okay, excellent. That is all very good information that I did not pick up from the book.
Except on a D2.
Right. D2s don't crit, but yeah.
And unless you have a special perk, and then sometimes they do.
Okay, well, not going to worry about that. All right, thank you. That was all very useful information that I need to know. I appreciate you taking out a second to tell me that.
Yep. Okay, Reaper.
Yes, what are the 2 things I know?
You burst into you don't burst into the room, but you authoritatively, silently enter the room. 2 things you notice. He is not there. There's a shit ton of clothes spread all over the room.
Okay. Does it look like anything is broken or damaged, like there was a fight?
No.
Okay, that is my one question. I say he's not here. Check the basement.
All right, let's group up then.
Okay. Takes you 5 seconds to meet together at the bottom of the stairs.
Hardman, you want to come in? Standing out there is going to get you caught.
What are the people in the street doing, Eric? Still moseying by, or are they doing something different?
They're still walking. They're walking from east to west. At about this time, they are kind of even with the property line of the house. So they're not quite even with the door, but they're probably 25 feet away from you at this point. There's only 2 of them. You can kind of see, the different shades of black a little bit better, and there's a little bit of moonlight and starlight. So there's only 2 of them. They're still walking kind of like they're drunk, but they're in the middle of the road. They're walking down the middle of the road, just kind of crunching on the snow that maybe fell this afternoon.
I want to crouch down and get to the side of the house so I can still see out the front. So I can still see if someone comes out the front, but I can keep it on the street without being seen. Does that make sense?
What side of the house do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the porch or in the yard?
I want to be in the yard on the side of the house.
East side or west side?
East side.
Okay. So that's the one side that you guys hadn't investigated. And there is no basement door here. So you're good. Your initial assessments were correct.
Hey, Bill Doctor. What time is closing time in this town?
Oh, everything rolls up at like 9 p.m.
Even the bars? What time's last call?
Last call's at 1 local time.
Okay.
I still have 2 unknowns meandering in front of the house. I think I need to keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Let me add this wrinkle, Hardman. So you were basically standing on the porch fairly close to the front door. So if you are moving to the yard, they are probably going to see you. I mean, it's possible that they're drunk and not paying any attention, but you will the movement will attract most people's notice.
Okay, instead of moving to the side of the house, I'm just going to crouch down by the door.
Okay. Do you want to make some sort of stealth check just to make their observing you a little harder? Or are you just going to count on the existing really super darkness?
Yeah, no, I'm going to try to survival.
Okay.
On low.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
I got 19 for my survival.
Great.
So I crouch down really low and think small thoughts.
Okay. Back inside. So you're in the kitchen. You're surrounding the basement door.
Okay, I'm going to check to see if it is locked.
It is not.
I'm going to open it and tell Stowe to get his blade ready so that we can quietly dispatch anyone if they're coming up the stairs.
Okay.
Pull the door open.
I've got the lightning sword going, so we've got like a big glow stick.
It's true. Do you want to adjust what you're doing classified? Because, when you open the door, his light will cast maybe not flashlight level light onto the stairwell, but it will, if anyone's on the stairwell, they will know somebody's up here.
I'm expecting him to be able to get to them before they get to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Prep yourself and be ready for this because the door is going to open. Get down there as quickly as you can.
Got it.
Okay.
All right.
They open the door. Stoat not charges, but goes down the stairs with authority with his weird ass lightning sword ahead of him. There is no one on the stairwell. When you get down, the stairwell is on like the right side of the house. So to your right, as you're going down the stairwell, is a wall because there's nothing left of his house on the other side of that. And to the left, when you get in there, it opens up into like the basement entertainment center. There's a couch, huge TV, like 75, 80 inches or something. It takes up a good chunk of one wall. There's also a fireplace on this level.
What is it with bad guys and huge TVs?
Yeah.
This was apparently his pimp room.
Shag carpet on the wall.
I mean, he probably doesn't pay taxes on any of this because he's a bad guy. So he can afford a little bit more.
This is his man cave.
Yeah.
Speaking of caves, let's see if there's any passages out of it. Anyone want to do a search of the place?
Yes, because I actually get bonuses when searching for hidden things.
We should do that then.
So let me see what those bonuses are so I can see exactly what I get.
While he's doing that, I'll do a situational awareness just to make sure that there's not booby traps and danger and spikes on the ceiling or dungeon gear about to explode. Who the hell knows?
Yep.
All right, I got a 20 with a crit on the 4.
Nice.
Okay, I'll let that happen.
Yep. Okay.
I was using my alertness and my perk from my checker past where I get an edge on looking for any security flaws or any hidden items or any weaknesses in security.
So everyone kind of goes down into the man cave at various points. Stout and Reaper are kind of taking the lead. They enter the room. Hardman is still up front. Classified, are you on the stairwell or are you actually on the basement floor?
I'm on the stairwell. I'm now heading downstairs with them, taking very good care because the only light is coming from the Jedi in front of me.
Yes. Okay. Almost universally, the first thing that everybody realizes when you step foot into the basement is that it's too small. It should take up the entirety of the house, and it's about 20 feet short on the western wall.
Excellent. And also, I still have my flashlight attached to my gear, so.
Yeah. In fact, now that you've got some light kind of actively shining in that area, one of the bookcases is visibly askew.
Well, there's an invitation to enter if I've ever seen one. Check it out. I'll watch the back.
Well, hey, looks like we found the passageway. Hey, Stoat, go ahead and take point.
Sure. I'm gonna throw open the passageway or the bookshelf. Tired of sneaking around.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like a door that probably has some sort of book as a clasp or a latch, and you just push it in. It's open. Looks like maybe he came out in a rush or not paying attention or something, and he just didn't push it quite enough to click and lock. So you noticed it was a half an inch ajar, and it freely pushes open. And inside it is about a 25-foot square room. And this is a lab, like some sort of high-tech supervillain lab. It's got computers and the beakers and the Jacob's ladder going. This room has power, so deal with that how you will.
All right, everyone, this is why I'm here. Watch the doors, guard this. I've got to look at what's going on here.
I roll my eyes hard. Where are we gonna punch somebody? I'm going upstairs.
Reaper enters into the lab with Classified and starts going through stuff with him, helping secure and bag everything.
Okay.
I'm visibly made uncomfortable by it, but let it happen.
Okay. I need some sort of alertness or basic investigation roll.
I can do situational awareness, but I also have, I'm looking at the computers and I have technology computers. I also have advanced technology, so I'm not sure if either of those help.
This would be before you get to the computers.
Got it.
This is the general sweep of the room. There's a couple of things that you should probably be aware of, but I'm going to need some sort of at least minor roll for that.
I'm going to do situational awareness.
Okay, Reaper, go ahead.
I was going to say my biggest thing would be probably science with medicine.
Okay, not applicable at this point. I need a general alertness or some sort of investigation roll for this first.
So that is a 17.
Okay,
15 plus 2 on a D2.
21.
So that's high enough. So the bookcase is kind of on the right side. So when you open it up, the room kind of spreads out to your left as you walk in, like the secret bookcase. At the end of the wall to your left, so the northwest, so the southern wall of this super secret lab, there are 2 cages. They're each about 10 by 10, and both of them are open. Right, but it's the way that they're open that kind of attracts your notice. They both look like jail cells, except the wall that connects them, because they're side by side,
Right.
the wall that connects them appears to be made out of thick iron, okay? Like heavy duty. Like,
Okay.
you saw it in the last Avengers movie when they were trying to capture the Hulk, thick iron wall.
Gotcha.
So in the left-hand side, in the left-hand cage, there's no one in it. It's got a regular jail cell door that's open, but it smells like rotting meat. And there's, quick flashlight sweep. There's some questionable liquids and chunks of tissue kind of at the bottom of the jail cell.
Okay.
And the other one, the right-hand cage, is set up more like a clean room. Okay. So
Okay.
it's almost like hermetically sealed, except this one is not. The door and most of the walls on the inside of this sealed room have scratches and dents and claw marks in them.
Uh-huh. I've seen this movie before. We need to get the information and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not liking what I'm seeing because it's something big, something bad, and if that's above my pay grade.
Yeah. What we need to do is drop whatever we can to get anything we can out of these computers, and then we need to boogie and we need to stay locked down and away from people, because I have a good feeling that whatever it was that's in there is going to be infectious, and we don't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, gotcha. If I see something, I'm shooting it. To hell with that.
Okay.
Well, 100%, but
We need panicked computer retrieval rolls. So you can make a technology roll at 1 downshift,
Okay.
which will let you go quicker. You can use science at 2 downshifts because it's not quite right for computers, but you can still make it work.
so I have a computers and downshifting to a D8, D6, D4, D2.
We use science. I got a 22.
Ah, crap. Oh, I also got a 22.
Nice.
No crits.
Okay. So you guys spend the next 5 or 6 minutes downloading everything you can off the hard drives. That's primarily classified, but Reaper can help out a little with that. Reaper, what would you like your intelligence gathering to focus on?
Mine would be anything medical, any of the medical aspects. Those would be the things I would focus on. Any kind of lab experiments, lab content.
I throw one of my sample kits, sample taking kits.
Okay.
Okay, yep. I grab one and I carry one of those around. If there's anything to grab, I get it.
Yeah. There's the liquids in the bottom of the regular jail cell, and there's some sort of, I don't want to give you the wrong impression by using the wrong word or to put pictures in your head when I use this word, but understand that you don't have any context and it may not be what you're thinking of when I say the word. Okay. So the hermetically sealed cage has some sort of mucus-like, snot-like, clear liquid, or it's not even really a liquid. It's closer to a
Like an ichor?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a mucusy ichor?
Yeah.
And you said it was clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hard man.
Yes, sir.
Let's not forget about you.
Oh, yeah. And you can forget me for a little bit. No.
The drunken couple, as you've taken to calling them, walk still in the road, still not paying any attention to you. You're crouched down pretty good. And they get to like the eastern edge of the property line. And then one of them stops. Okay. And it's weird because it's still completely almost pitch black out here. You only have a little bit of moonlight to kind of even know that there are people there.
Right.
And what they're doing. And if you were a betting man, or if you had to write this down in a report, you would say that the smaller of the 2 figures sniffs the air. And then she I'm referring to it as a she just because it's a little bit smaller than the other.
Okay.
Kind of gives you that vibe. There's a man and a woman.
Okay.
So the quote unquote woman seems to spin and start walking toward you. And the man, the larger thing, larger being, takes a couple more steps forward and then kind of notices that his partner is no longer there and turns to see what's up with her and starts kind of drunkenly stumbling after her. And she is basically making a beeline towards you. You don't know that she sees you or detects you, but she's coming straight towards the front door.
I tap on my communicator. I have 2 incoming, and I'm readying my gun to shoot if I need to.
Okay. Stoat, you're around there somewhere. What are you doing?
So I'm probably at the top of the stairs by now, since, boring lab. Hardman, what's going on out there? Anything more exciting? I need somebody to punch.
I sent a message saying 2 incoming.
Oh.
Yeah. You guys with the HTV and your little earbuds, you're in constant communication. So you can talk to each other as if you were standing in the same room up to a couple miles away.
Fair enough. I'll go to the front and kind of look out my window.
If you guys are going to get into a fight, keep it quiet. And you're probably in better shape to not turn on your lightsaber because that is going to attract attention. We want to get out of here as quiet as possible.
Right. So I'm going to look out the front window, see if I can see, from the living room area.
Yep. Outside the front window.
Yeah, kind of not super obvious, but as discreet as I can.
Yeah. And if you're looking out the front door window or the picture window in the living room, they both open up on the north end of the house. And you can see Hardman kind of scrunched down in front of the front door, kind of taking up as little room as possible, like he's trying to hide a little bit. And you can see the 2 figures that you spotted earlier when you first kind of dropped out of the helicopter. It's got to be those 2 same people. And they're stumbling around like they're drunk, but they're making a beeline for the front of this house. They're going to be here in a minute.
I'm going to prepare, potentially, to teleport if they get too close to Hardman.
Okay.
So I'm just going to kind of watch and be ready with that.
I'm sorry, quick clarification, Eric.
Yes, sir.
They passed the house. Were they going east to west or west to east?
They were going west to east.
Okay, so they passed the house, stopped the... Okay, just to clarify my head what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, they made it to the eastern property line, give or take. And then the woman, seemingly, it's impossible to tell in this level of darkness, looked like she sniffed the air and then turned around and started coming straight towards.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm my thoughts. Okay, carry on.
Yep.
So I'm ready for the machine gun.
All right. So we're just going to stay up here because the downstairs guys are just downloading stuff onto servers and hard drives and HTV stuff. You can download it straight to the HTV. That's probably the most useful. So we'll stay up front. So Hardman, at some point that you have to understand, they don't say anything, they don't do anything, but they both make beelines towards you to the point where you have to be aware that they seem to be aware of you.
Oh yeah, no, I assumed that when they started my direction.
Yeah.
They get 20 feet away,
okay.
30 feet away. I'm going to stand up with my submachine gun out.
Okay. Does that have a silencer?
Nope.
Okay. This does not deter them, but it's dark out. Maybe they can't see the gun.
Who goes there?
They don't say anything.
Are they still approaching?
Yes.
So make sure that front door is open in case he needs to bolt in.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if you check, it was locked. So
I am just going to stand my ground, wait for him to get a little bit closer. I don't want to fire him in the middle of the night if I can help it.
Yeah. All right. They continue to not say anything. They continue to stumble like they're drunk. And I'm going to put them at the base of the stairs to the porch. So they are 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
They haven't acknowledged your orders. They haven't acknowledged your presence, really, other than they are heading directly towards you.
I'm going to reach down and turn on my armor, my
personal shield.
Personal shield. Thank you. My mind turned off. I'll turn on my personal shield.
Does that emit light?
Not necessarily.
It doesn't say.
It's a how's it described again? A personal force field. We never really. It doesn't really. I wouldn't think it would just give a light per se. It gives like a, as we talked about when we played previously. It gives like a shimmering. That's how we kind of described it. It's a personal shield generator. It's octopus-sized device.
So in the light, it would reflect light like a like a mirage or like a heat.
The shield springs into force, encircling the vanguard with an obvious shimmering energy.
Okay.
So I don't think
So
a light per se, but yeah, if you can see the light, you see it.
okay. So why don't you give me alertness or
Survival work again.
yeah, good as any.
18.
Okay. So it's only when they start walking up the steps to the porch that the light from your force field kind of sheds enough light that you can kind of see them.
Okay.
It's not good light. It's kind of a blue light. So anything that's dark on them would appear like black, and their skin would be like almost a white. And they look like they've been shot. They both have dark patches all over their skin, like somebody cut their scalp and they've been bleeding freely for the last 20 minutes, almost to the point where it's hard to distinguish features on their face because the liquid, presumably blood that has dripped down onto their face, is blocking features. You can't make out anything because it goes from the white of their skin to the black of the blood. But yeah, they are both covered in blood like they're wounded, which would explain the drunken stumble.
Right. Can I see their hands?
They have gloves on, but they have hands.
Well, sorry, my question is, are the hands out where I can see them, or are they like hiding them in their clothes, like they're hiding something?
Oh, they're out front.
Okay.
Like the smaller person, which if you were a betting man, would say was a woman, is almost to the point where she's going to be on the top of the steps and like stumble towards you. So she has her arms out like to maybe brace her fall or to catch against you. She seems to be completely oblivious to the force field. And you're not sure if that's just because she's not seeing it because she's wounded or if she doesn't know what it is, but she appears to be about to blindly run into you and she's going to bounce off the force field.
I have a man and woman up on the porch. Do not move any further. I'm going to take a step back.
Okay. One step back and you're like bumping up against the door.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
All right. So, you doing anything?
Yeah, I mean, I see her bounce out the force field, and I figure it's go time, right? She's not listening. I don't know the rules of engagement, so I'm going to teleport behind those two, cast my spell,
Okay.
and I'll do it to get the -1, right? So it's my move action.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
And then I'll line behind.
You got to roll. Let's just make your target number a 10. That's fine.
Okay. Momentum all. Okay, it's an 11. Eesh.
Great. All right. You're about 6 feet off of the front porch. You're just behind the larger guy.
And I will use a lightsaber, and I'm going to do it as a stunning attack. See, this is where I'm not quite sure what it says that under laser weapon gains stun 1 as an alternate effect. Is that in lieu of damage, or is that in addition to damage?
Hang on a second. Let me look it up.
147.
Thank you. That is in lieu of damage.
Okay. Then I'm going to hit the guy then with the stunning damage with the lightsaber.
Okay.
Since I don't want to kill him yet.
Roll to hit him. You have surprise, so I will let you pick the defense that he's going to defend against.
He's going to defend with evasion,
Okay.
and I'm going to use might.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
And 15.
Yeah, you got him.
So he is stunned.
It's electricity, right?
It's the laser weapon.
Okay.
So swing with my laser sword.
Yeah. He goes taut, like he's been electrocuted or like he's been tased. And you leave it up against him and kind of start leaning to the right because, he was off balance when he's taking a step forward. And you can tell from your MMA experience when he falls, it's going to be to the right, except he doesn't fall. You keep the tip of the blade on him or the back of the blade or however you're doing it. And he should go down. Yeah. You're aware of how the weapon works. You've done it before. You've zapped your coach a few times in practice, and he does not fall. Instead, he kind of quickly turns around and seems to be unaware of his arms. Like, he doesn't turn around in any sort of defensive stance. He turns around and his arms kind of flop and keep going after he stops. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he's drunk.
I was just going to tell the boys that, hey, these guys are really, really drunk.
Yeah.
Not feeling pain.
And you see the same kind of situation that Hardman saw, except a little bit better because your lightsaber emits a smidge more light. And this guy's face is just like covered in blood. He's got a pock mark on his cheek that if you were a betting man would be a bullet hole. But if he had a bullet in that part of his face, he wouldn't be walking around like he was drunk. So probably not a bullet hole, but you're at a loss as to what it is because all of your instincts scream that it's a bullet hole.
Talk to me, boys. What are you seeing?
We got two guys up here that don't feel pain. I want to make sure they feel pain in a second here. I'm going to get the electric hand axe on them next time.
Do not let them touch you.
All right.
Is there something we should be aware of?
Probably.
Fill us in.
Okay, you guys have about one more round to finish your downloads, and then you'll be free to come upstairs.
Okay, can we talk while we're
Yeah,
downloading, or are we? Some medical experiments going on down here. Don't know a whole lot about it. Probably not much to share, but there is a good chance that those things are zombies.
So what? God damn it.
So, like, get the out of there.
Like double tap zombies?
Do you what, zombies?
Aim for the Braden pan, double tap.
2 to the dome.
This isn't the movies, hard man.
I say zombies in so much as we don't know what the hell they are, but that's probably a good way to think about them. But at the end of the day, you don't want to get touched by them, and you want to get the out of there as soon as possible and under cover. So let's do that now.
Roger.
Okay. And they act slowly enough that you guys get initiative. So, Hardman, why don't you lead us off now that you have this new information? What do you want to do?
So on the porch, is there a railing around it, or is it a?
Yes, there's a railing.
I am going to. Can I leap over the railing into the yard itself? The yard
Yes.
proper. 11.
Okay, it's easy enough. Just a quick rail hop. You're fine. You're down into the yard. You're even with Stout, who's engaged with a guy. The woman is still up on the porch. She hasn't reacted to the fact that you've left the space yet. Stout, what are you doing?
So how do I two-handed swing at somebody? I was trying to understand that. I've got two weapons. I want to swing with both of them.
Okay. For now, we'll kind of simplify the effect because we've only got 20 minutes left and I don't want to stop to look up rules. So
No worries.
take 2 downshifts and then you can do damage for both weapons.
2 downshifts. Okay, so I'm going to recklessly abandon what I should be. So I'll activate that so I get 2 upshifts on strength skill tests.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing with both my katana, which is the laser for damage, and my hand axe, which is electric. And the electric one also gives me an upshift.
Okay.
Because it's electric. So we're going to go with the hand axe first.
You're only making 1 roll.
1 roll. Okay.
So we'll throw out the extra upshift from the axe for this fight just because the logistics are a little weird. So just take your even attack roll and then you'll do damage for both weapons.
17?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So it's going to be a electric axe and laser sword.
2 sharp, basically.
Yeah.
Is the electric axe like elemental damage or?
I mean, it's electric damage, but
Okay.
it's the effect is essentially you get electric weapons gain 1 shift up on attacks.
Okay. So yeah.
And then I'm going to move away. Like, I'm going to dip on them.
That's fine.
Create some separation.
So you're not aware of, engagement operational parameters. So you chop and stab. The axe bites far enough into the man's neck that he's dead. You stab him through the chest. You chop half of his head off, or the neck is only halfway attached, and he falls down, twitching, probably because of the lightning, but he goes down. He dies.
Oh, okay. The hits keep coming. At their level, once per turn when you defeat an enemy, I can use a free action to move my movement rate and make a melee attack.
Okay.
Melee might attack. So I'm going to do that to the lady.
All right.
And I'm just going to run up and slash her with the lightning sword.
Okay. Go ahead.
And that is 25.
Oh, yeah. Got her.
1 laser damage.
Yep. You put it right through her chest, and you pull it back out and are kind of waiting for her to fall, and she does not.
Interesting.
All right. So, gentlemen, down in the basement. You have all of the stuff downloaded onto the HTBs or flash drives or whatever you got, and you are free to move about the room freely.
Okay, first thing I want to do is call into our handler and say, we're dealing with some biological anomalies here. Is this enough to scrub the mission, or do you want us to still go in after this Bender guy?
Well, I'm for doing the mission and stuff because we're professionals and junk. So Are you like surrounded and imminently about to die or whatever?
Negatory. Understood.
Okay.
I think we need to have Beachhead on the horn, not
What?
Bill.
Learned a valuable lesson there.
How dare you, sir? I am a professional.
Can you connect us? Can you connect us professionally to Beachhead, or is he not available?
Yeah, I mean, he's standing right here, but all right, hang on. God.
All right.
Put you on hold. There's like little elevator music. In the meanwhile, are you staying in the basement or are you making your way upstairs?
We're making our ways carefully upstairs.
Should we destroy the slab?
No,
Okay.
it'll get taken out in the airstrike anyway. I mean,
Oh.
it'll probably get dealt with by somebody else.
Okay. So you're up the stairs. You're in the kitchen. Hard man.
Yes.
You saw the woman. You saw the woman get stabbed. His sword came through her torso and bumped up against your force field, and she did not drop.
Don't want to shoot my shotgun, or machine gun. So I'm going to pull my. It takes a move action to switch weapons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or not a move, standard action or whatever.
What's your speed?
My speed is a good question. 16.
So it's a 6. So that means you got a main action, move action, and you have 4 free actions. So yeah, switching weapons shouldn't be a problem with you.
So I'm gonna grab my knife and swing at her
Okay,
head.
go ahead.
Can I do? Is that targeting or what is it to
Finesse.
finesse?
Or might.
Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, you nail her right in the temple, and when you pull the knife out, she goes down.
And looking around, what else is going on? Anything around us?
Front door opens, and Reaper and Classified are both there. And Beachhead comes over the HTB and says, "What's up?"
We have biologicals which do not seem to react to fatal wounding or near fatal wounding, however, can be eventually killed. We have a laboratory with biological experimentation. We have taken all of the intel that we can from the lab. However, it appears that there is something unexpected going on in the location. Is the target still Dr. Bender, or should we try and get out with the intel that we have?
Well, the only intelligence I have on this would be the horror movie I watched last night. And if this is, and I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud, if it's zombies, we need an assessment of how much it has spread. Because if it's, and at this point, like I said, the only thing I have to go off is the movies. If it's Walking Dead, disease spreading zombies, they clearly can't leave the plateau, or that's the end of the United States, if season 3 of The Walking Dead is any indication. Plus, do you have
Mr. Beachhead?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a phone number to call to get some advice about this and perhaps maybe do something about it, but please do not call it until we have the evac chopper in place so that we can get out of here before whatever they choose to do happens.
So the priority is to find the doctor, because if it came from him, then we'll need his help to get rid of it or cure it, or I don't know what the terminology is. We're swinging in the wind here. So find him, get him
Understood.
alive.
Reaper speaks up and says, could we maybe consider having the CDC shut this area down for biological
Well,
hazards?
sure, but they're coming from Denver, and that's going to take 3 hours.
Yeah, but we need to get this shut down ASAP. So anything we can get's what we need. So get it
Yeah.
on the way now, and we'll do what we can while we're
Yeah,
on site.
That is the least of our problems right now. Let's grab the doctor and get out of here. Everything else will be taken care of.
I'm going to message just our team and not Beachhead. Y'all are going to get us killed. Have you not seen the movies? They're going to drop a bomb on us. You need to stop telling him this stuff.
Well, Doctor is not here, so the only other place we know he may be is at his office. So let's get to moving.
Yep, I'm going to start double teaming down the street.
Yeah, might as well at this point. Follow along with them. Are we going to try and stay in formation, or is it everyone just hauling ass as quickly as they can?
I say we stay in formation. We go Hardman, myself, probably Copper.
I'm taking center.
You in the center? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put Copper in the center with you, and then I'll take the tail.
Okay. Let's move, folks.
I'm the only other really big gun besides Hardman right now.
All right, let's make this happen. Everyone, formation down the road. Let's get to the office.
I'm headed south. And this has been an episode of the Energon Protocols. The Energon Protocols stars Aaron Moss as Hardman and as Stealth Mode, Erick Engon as Copper Stout, Ryan Costello as Scaffold and Shoehorn, Joshua McGuire as Reaper and Mongoose, Charles Cushman as Classified and Ghost Town, and starring Erik Smith as the Storyteller. A big thanks to Hasbro, Marvel Comics, Skybound Entertainment, and all the other comic companies for the years of great G.I. Joe resources and stories. And thanks to Renegade Studios and all their employees for their role-playing game. And a big thank you to all you listening to the Energon Protocols. This is a mostly monthly podcast where a handful of geeks get together to play the Renegade Studios role-playing game, G.I. Joe. If you like what you're listening to, check out the role-playing game yourself. Go to renegadestudios.com and check out their fine listing of games. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, and many others. Also, be sure to check out the other shows on my network. My main G.I. Joe show is G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast, and the brother show, which is Bravo Team, which looks at the G.I. Joe comics, cartoons, and other assorted G.I. Joe goodness over the years. There's also Head Speaks, where I look at anything geek-related. Plus, there are several other shows available at headcast.headspeaks.com. Again, that is headcast.headspeaks.com. And if you like what I'm doing here, head over to patreon.com/Headcast Network and throw a few bucks in the tin. Really appreciate it. And be sure to join us here next month for another amazing adventure of the Energon Protocols on the Headcast Network.
Yo, Joe.
Yeah. And it's almost 10 o'clock, and this is actually a perfect point to stop.
I had a panic there. I'm like, how can it be 10 o'clock in the morning already? No, 10 o'clock at night.
Well, it was a really long game session. When I had to take the dog out, that was actually 8 hours, because that's what it felt like on my end.
Oh, I meant 10 o'clock in the morning game time.
Yeah.
So we're like it was in mid-afternoon, lights are on, we're like sneaking down the road going.
No, it's almost 4 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll pick up there next week.
Hey, worst case scenario, we pull the Shaun of the Dead.
That does sound like worst case scenario.
All right. No leveling up. This is kind of the warm-up session, and you're already level 3, so we'll pause on that. But 2 weeks from today at 7 p.m., we will invade the dentist office.
Nice. All right.
Excellent. Loving this a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I am carrying some weird shit on my character already.
Yo, Joe.
And just so I remember, qualified means I just get the item. I do it in the acquisition phase, but it makes it like an auto get.
Yeah.
Sweet submachine gun. I don't really even need a submachine gun. Just shoot my beams. Pew pew.
And no spoilers just yet, but this is going to be a fairly highly specialized mission. So you're going to have some decisions as far as your loadout goes. But we'll get to that in-game.
Spoilers.
Yo, Joe.